Hey guys, Jack from Card Crew here, and today I'm bringing you another deck profile, and this is going to be my Invoked Shaddoll artifact. Yeah, that's it. This deck is fucking amazing. I love this deck. It's not cheap, but it's fun to play, and it's a stun deck, and I like playing stun decks, and this will be the deck. Maybe not this exact build, but this is the deck that I am taking to Nats with me, to Nationals with me next month. And yeah, I've been having great success with it. It's a fun deck, and top decking terraforming makes people salty. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into this deck profile. I know I haven't been uploading much recently because I've had a month of manicness at work, and then before, like the month before that, like after my cubic deck profile, I didn't really have any decks to profile. I was struggling, so yeah. Right, without further ado, let's finally jump into probably one of my favourite decks that I've built of all time. First up, we run Triple Alistair. This guy is self-explanatory. If you've seen any kind of meta deck at all, that's like Wind Witch Artifact Invoked, that sort of decks. This guy is the bread and butter of the deck. He gets all your plays going. He's the guy that gets all your fusion monsters out on the board. You need to run 3 of him. He is so crucial to the deck, and I would not cut him at all. He is just, you need to see this guy. That's why we run 3, 6, we run 9 of this guy in this deck. Pretty much 9. Then for the Shaddoll lineup, 2 Beasts because drawing is good. 2 Hedgehog because searching is good, because it searches our Shaddoll spells and traps, which is what we like. Then we run 1 Squamata, 1 Dragon, and 1 Falco. Dragon I might bump up to 2, or I might just side the second one because Imperial Order's a thing, and Imperial Order just shits on this deck like completely. Squamata and Falco are just names, literally. Squamata can be good because you can deck thin with it, where you could send it with Call the Haunted, then send this and pop a card, or send this and get shenanigans off, or you can use Squamata's, it's okay. But these 2 are your main 2 that you want to be seeing, which is the Beast and the Hedgehog, because they're just so important to getting plays off. This guy allows you to draw, so he's a nice little draw engine deck, and this guy is important because it gets you to your El Shaddoll fusion and U Shaddoll fusion and stuff like that. So yeah. And also, if you want a certain Shaddoll in hand to do an effect with or whatever, you can search off with that as well. So he's your main searcher of the deck, really, for your Shaddoll stuff. Next up is the Artifact Engine, which is pretty simple. 3 Scythe, because Scythe's the best one. Then Baraltech at 1. Not really much to say. I don't like my opponent using their extra deck, and I like popping things without targeting them, which is really nice to do. And then for the last monster, the obligatory 1 Maxi, because we like to draw into our combo pieces here, and when your opponent activates Barrage and you drop this, or your opponent normal summons a rat and you drop this, it's pretty much GG. They either bring out the bob that they want to, or they just stop with a Dryden. It's their problem. Next for spells, we run triple Magical Meltdown and triple Terraforming, because this searching this is broken, because I'm not joking. This card wins games. This card wins games, because this card searches out this card. And I'll tell you about that another time, of how I made someone drop out of a tournament by top decking a Terraforming. Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, Magical Meltdown. If you don't know what it, I should probably go over it. If you don't know what it does, when it's activated, you get to add an Alistair of the Invoke to your hand. Then your opponent can negate fusion summons or respond to fusion summons in any way, shape, or form. So that means any fusion summon that you do is safe, whether it be with the Shaddoll stuff or using the invoked card. This card is nuts, and your opponent has to get rid of this pretty much to stop your fusion monsters coming out, or because once they're out, your opponent's going to have to try and figure out another way to deal with them, if that's by battle or by card effect, but still, not being able to warning or strike them is bloody brilliant. For fusion spells, we run 2 Invocation, because he's got the guy that gets all the card that gets all your your invoked monsters out and uses your opponent's graveyard against them. And also, this is what you search off of Alistair. We only run it at 2 because the fact that we run 9 Alistair in the form of 3 Alistair, 3 Magical Meltdown, and then 3 Terraforming. That's pretty much like 9 Alistair. So, we only run this at 2 because we're bound to see this no matter what. So, yeah. Then run 2 normal Shaddoll Fusion because that's all you really need because it's searchable off Hedgehog. And you don't want to be bricking with this in late game, so that's the only reason we run it too. And plus we do run the L Shaddoll Fusion as technically our 3rd Shaddoll Fusion because it's a quick play and it means you can tag out your window into another window or your window into a construct at any point. Not construct, Shikanaga. I wish construct was back though. This deck would be broken if construct was back. Because the amount of plays you could do would be fucking hilarious. I'm honestly not joking. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold as well. But yeah, this ratio seems to be working fine for me, running 5 fusion spells. Or otherwise, I am just clogging with fusion spells, and I don't really want to be doing that. Although this is a heavy fusion-based deck, I do not want to clog with fusion spells because half the time you just say like, great, I can got all these fusion spells, but I've got no monsters to fuse with. So yeah. Then for some consistency, we run triple Wonder Wand because Wonder Wand plus Alistair is amazing because you can normal your Alistair, get your search for your invocation, equip Wonder Wand to Alistair, tribute off the Alistair, draw 2 cards. And then your Alistair's, you've got your invocation, and because your invocation allows you to use your Alistair from grave, you're all set up. You got pretty much 3 cards. So yeah, with Alistair in this, you go +1, +2. It's really nice. So this card at 3 is a must, and plus it works with all your Shaddolls as well, because you can just normal summon a Shaddoll if need be, use this and draw 2 cards and see what you end up with, which is really nice. And then for them, we run 2 Allure of Darknesses. I wish I had my Ultras back, but I don't know where they went, so I've only got Supers. But yeah. This card, I had this card at 3, and I've run enough targets to run it at 3, but I don't want, if I see it early game, I do not want to be banishing my Alistairs, I do not want to be banishing my Shaddolls. So I run this at 2, for simple fact of is so I can see it mid to late game instead of early game. Well, have more of a chance, less of a chance to see it early game, but at 2 it's really nice, and I've been liking it at 2, and I think it's going to stay at 2. Because I've done lots of testing with this deck, and 2 seems to be really, really good, and it shows up when I need it. So that's all I can say. And then last spell, 1 Foolish, because we're playing Shaddolls, and sending Shaddolls to grave is cool. Sometimes it comes in handy to send Alistair to grave if you've got Invocation in hand and no other way to get an Alistair. Then we run, for traps, we run triple Sanctum. I run a lot more traps in this invoked deck than most invoked decks run because I like traps, and Maku Birth to stop D-barriers and stuff is cool. Triple Sanctum because this is what shuts off your opponent with Scythe, and this is also what brings up your morale tech and pops and stops your opponent pretty much. And if your opponent, it's also bait as well because you can just set this, and if they know you're playing like game 2, you set this. They're scared to even MST the rest of your stuff just in case, or Twin Twister in case it's this, or in case it's an artifact. And that can be really cool because you can keep your D barriers and your strikes alive and stuff because they fear this and stuff like that. So that's why I run this card at 3 because it's nice bait and it gets you access to your artifact engine, no problem. Next up we run 2 D barrier, self-explanatory, it's a staple because calling. Best thing with D barrier and Sanctum is you use Sanctum, bring out the Scythe, they can't use their extra deck, and then you call D barrier and Pendulums, and then they just can't play because the only thing they're going to be doing is ritual summoning. So unless you're going to get Shino Birds or Necros, yeah, or Gishki. Then they run the Solemn Gaining 2 strike and a warning. This ratio is nice because you don't really care about your life points really because you got nothing else that really pays life points. So paying that 5,000 life points, if need be, is not really a problem. Moving on to extra deck, we run Token, because Token cool. That token's going to be in every deck profile, I don't care. And then we run, for Shaddolls, we run 2 Winder and 1 Shikinaga. Winder is one of the main two extra deck cards that you go into in this deck. This girl is broken. The fact that you can only special summon once per turn. If your opponent can't get over it, what are Zoo gonna do? What are most decks will do? Right. I must say, this deck does fall flat on its ass when going against True Draco. Just keep that in mind. It's True Draco or the True King Dinosaurs. This deck can fall flat on its ass. Just saying, but this is just side for all that stuff. But yeah, this girl is your main girl of your extra deck because she just stops your opponent from being able to special summon once per turn. But you really don't care because your main play is to normal summon an Alistair. That's it. And back it up with back row with this and something else on board. But yeah, and the fact that you can go into 2 fusions a turn, then bring this out. Like you go into an invoked card, then bring this out, you're fine. Yeah, she obviously when she dies as well, you can just recycle all your Shaddoll fusion spells and stuff. And Shikinaga, she's just there to be a booty and to negate spells and traps pretty much. She's nice. She can put some pressure on board, but you don't really go into her as much as you think because the only way to really make her is the Maxi, but you'll either use your Maxi for draws. But it's there if really, really, really need be. And I have had to go into it once, and it did win me the game. So that's why she's still in there. Next up, we own 2 Invoke Makuba because Makuba, you should know what Makuba does. If you're not, just look it up. It negates stuff. Invoke Kaliag. This is the card that I run at 2, and people don't really pay any attention. This card plus Winder equals your opponent just can't play because loads of decks in the meta nowadays are just comboing off effects, loads of special summons. So if you've got your opponent being able to only special summon once, only activate 1 monster effect per turn, actually no, only attempt to activate 1 monster effect per turn, and being able to only attack once per turn, your opponent's not really going to get over you because if you've got your Alistairs in hand and you've got invocations, you can just keep cycling through your Alistairs and your invocations because you can just ditch your Alistair and then your monster gains 1,000 attack and defense. So putting this onto a 2/8 booty is really, really nice. And also, if you can use 2 of these to overlay into some, or you use this and a Shaddoll or the Alistair to overlay. So that's how you get out of your own lock. So if you want to go for game, that's how you do that. That, or you go into a Celium. So yeah. So that guy at 2, that plus Winder is pretty much what this deck does and stalls. Next up is Magalanius, or whatever you call it. Love this card. Honestly, thinking about bumping this guy up to 2 because Zoo is a thing. And we like to use Zoo. Get rid of their rats, get rid of their broad bulls out their graveyard, their tiger mortars or whatever, or their hammer kongs and stuff like that. So this guy is really good because he can just win your games. So, but I'm only currently running 1 of him because I don't know what to cut. So if you have any suggestions of what I should cut, please tell me in the comments down below. Then we run 1 Raging, 1 Water, 1 Fire, and 1 Asilium. Because this guy is the broken. This guy, because Ghost Dash is a thing, meaning that you can just banish their Ghost Dash so they can't recycle it or whatever, because someone will go up with that at some point. And this guy, because mermaids are a little bit of a thing, and then Raging because Emerald's a thing, and you can stop your opponent using Emerald more than once. Well, reusing 2 Emeralds in the next turn. Then for Xyz, I run 1 Utopia, 1 Lightning, self-explanatory, because you go into this and then overlay into this, using your level 4s and stuff or whatever, and that's just another way for attacking for game, which is really nice. It's quite strong. And then I cannot play artifacts without playing the Durandal. I got hold of an ulti, so why not? This, honestly, believe me or not, this card's won games. Because it's because of its effects where you should just attack and they're going to mirror force you or whatever, you just go detach, you know, MST a back row. You just MST'd an artifact and it's back and it can attack. Well, no, because it's going to come back in your opponent's phase, but yeah, you just make them blind MST your stuff, which is really, really funny. So yeah, but that's everything for this deck profile. And if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any ideas of ratios or any cards I could change in this deck, please let me know, because I want to get this deck working just absolutely perfectly for Nationals, just so I can go and make loads and loads of people salty. So yeah, without further ado, thank you very much for watching this deck profile. I will catch you guys next time.